And I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
will you take roll call, please?
Yep, Commissioner Digital,
Here.
Commissioner Corbin,
Here.
Commissioner Wire,
Here.
Commissioner Shaw,
Here.
Mayor Denner.
Here. Before we adopt the agenda, do we want to add the slide, painting the slide to this? Do we?
Yeah, you could amend the agenda
Okay.
too.
We're going to amend under item number 1 under new business, painting the slide at the indoor pool too.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Second. Any further comments, discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor, signify by aye. All opposed, motion carried. Under appearances acknowledgement, do I have a motion to approve board meeting minutes for August?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Move down into consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by aye. All opposed? Motion carried. We have nothing under unfinished business. We'll move down into the new business. Item number 1, discuss the use of the community center maintenance and repair reserved for life floor insulation, blasting or sandblasting and painting the pool, gutter replacement and painting the slide. Lori, would you want to come up and go over this with us, please?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, for allowing me to have this time to speak to this project. So I'm just here tonight to start a conversation and answer any questions that you may have about any of the items that we're looking to replace or repair. And so this is a conversation that we had started back in 2017. We've known for a while that the condition of our pool floor is very slippery, and the ceramic tiles may not have been the best placed when they were initially installed. And so looking for ways to either remedy or fix it is kind of how we started this. The discussion came up again most recently because we have seen an increase in the incidence of slip and fall injuries at the community center. And not only in the number of them, but the severity of them. One of the last ones required the ambulance come to the community center. And so we're trying to be proactive rather than reactive about the safety of our floor and make sure that it's up to ANSI standards and the NSF. So that brings us to life floor. I had looked at other options as well. One is a mineral treatment. It would be an annual treatment. To do the pool deck alone, it costs about $17,286. Another treatment that I had looked into is a topical treatment. It's like a glue that has sand, again, an annual treatment. And so we knew that if this was going to be an annual project, it's going to have years of cost. So we looked again into Life Floor, and ironically enough, around that same time, Holden from Life Floor had contacted me and said, hey, I just talked to the person that you had worked with previously with our Life Floor. Are you interested in opening this topic again and talking about putting Life Floor in at the community center? Because I'm sure you are, but Life Floor is actually manufactured here in town at Madison at Falcon, and has ties to some family here in town. So that's very unique. And so what we talked about was being like a showcase floor, just allowing them, so if we keep up the integrity and the cleanliness of our floor, that would then allow them to bring stakeholders and other people and investors from around the world to Madison, South Dakota, and to see our floor. So we thought that was a good topic to revisit anyway. So that brings us here. I was just very honest with Holden and Life Floor and told them what we can do and what we can't do and the constraints that we have and the big constraints that we have. And so very graciously, they have given us a gracious discount of almost $70,000. And so you'll see that they have discounted the material. So the product cost for the material is $28,940. 50% of that would need to be paid for before the project cost. So that would be Life Floor. So there's two parts to this because they have the material cost and then they have the installer cost, and they only ever use one installer. They only have one preferred installer. So then that leads us into the inside edge. And so the installation side of things, that if you have a page 2 of the Life Floor and Safety Services, is $69,627.73. Originally, when we were talking in 2017-18, this project was going to cost upwards of $200,000. So the fact that they have given us such a gracious discount is very, very appealing to help remedy the slippery floor at the community center. So where then that led was they had said, when we perform installing a new floor, we generally have to drain pools. And so we said, well, if we're going to have to close the pool for a duration of 2 to 3 weeks, why wouldn't we look into project cost for getting everything done at one time and then using reserves to cover that cost rather than going into our operational budget. So then that brings us to sandblasting. So Miller Painting, do we have that in front of us?
We have a copy.
Okay, got it. So I've reached out to Miller Painting and Decorating. I've reached out to MC&R Pools. I've reached out to Stemper Auto Body here in town, and then another Reich Painting out of Iowa. Miller Painting, so Randy is this individual's name. He has been very accommodating, has come to our pool upon request, has given us quotes within a very good time frame, and he has come in at the lowest, but still using the same quality of products that the other ones are saying that they would use. So he's very willing and very capable to do this project and do it within the timeline that we need. MC&R Pools is not very interested. It's a large project. They said that they have a lot of winter projects already, so they have decided not to put a bid in for sandblasting. Stemper Auto Body is interested in putting in a bid for this, but they are not available within the time frame that we are needed, because with Life Floor, back up to Life Floor, if I may, their timeline of installation is January, like December through February. So we're looking at a very short turnaround for this project. Stemper Auto Body recognizes the fact that they don't have the manpower at this time to do that project. He said that he would need about 8 people, and that would still be about a 5-week project. Miller Painting he can mobilize a service team and get it done within 3 weeks. So we have ventured out, but Miller Painting is the one that had come in with the lowest cost, however, still using quality product. Any questions? Okay, so that is the reason behind the Life Floor, sandblasting and painting the pool. So then if we talk about the slide, the reason the slide came up, a board member very smartly brought it up because right now the stairs of our slide exposed to the chloramines in the air has like calcium deposits on it, which then will cause rust. So the underbelly of the slide continues to rust, dripping on the floor and then staining the floor. So she said, do we really want to spend all that money on the floor if we're going to ruin it with rust continually dripping on the new floor, causing staining on the new floor? So then that has also been included. So Miller has quoted the slide at $13,500. Miller Painting has also, so he can do two things, I'm sorry. He can either power wash at a high pressure PSI, which is a Band-Aid. He said that it will take off a lot of the paint, but not all of the paint. And if you want to fix the problem, the solution is to sandblast. So power washing and painting would be $40,492. Sandblasting and painting would be $65,723. In addition to the $13,500. So that is filler painting for the slide and the pool. The gutter system. So again, we just said that we knew it's an area that causes falls, because what has happened is that the stainless steel that connects all of it has now become rusted. Some of it has broke. So our Band-Aid is to put washers on to then try to secure the hardware to the frame from the gutter. We have to tighten it daily, and sometimes if it does not get tight enough, if one is stepped on, the side will go down, another will come up, causing falling, and that we see approximately 50 seniors every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That can be a big hazard. So that is why we went down the avenue of doing the zero depth gutter. The rest of the gutter around the pool has kept its integrity. It doesn't need as much maintenance as the other because it doesn't have as much foot traffic on it. So that is why we only went with the zero depth. For that, it came in at $59.10. This is just for the material. We plan to utilize DSU and then our own resources to install, to try to keep costs low. So I think that covers the life floor, the sandblasting and painting, and the gutter replacement. Do you want me to speak to using reserves rather than putting it in the operating budget and how that's paid back, or?
I can do that.
Okay,
As you're all aware, we have both DSU and the city maintains separate reserves that are required by codified law. We maintain $450,000 specifically for use of the community center. DSU maintains one for $300,000. That's 60-40 split. We can, the city's portion of this bill would be probably in the $114,000 range coming from that reserve. We would need to pay that back over just a little over 2 years. We'd pay back about $50,000 a year as required by that law. Same thing with DSU, they have to pay it back in that proportion as well. This contract would go through DSU, and talking with Stacy, and we would either reimburse them or split them with as those invoices came in. The four-person board met prior to this and approved the motion to go forward.
Up to 190,000.
Yes, up to 190,000. If we couldn't use staff to install that gutter, and we had to pay for that. The total costs that you have in front of you today are 184,225. This would be in case we have installation costs above that, and that's what the four-person board approved.
Do we have to open this to bid at all, or is we have already got something? Or is it because they're individual projects separately?
So she's gotten quotes from various for the sandblasting piece of it, which is could be done by multiple different. Life floor is obviously a specialty item, so and it falls.
in the install, they only use one installer. They won't allow any others to install. Yeah.
They would bid it.
They
Sorry,
would bid it,
DSU
so
would
we
bid
don't
that
have
if they.
Oh,
So just keep it there.
Yeah.
So just-
Thank you for your excitement there.
We've already had one issue with the pool this year. I would rather not have another one at this point. And I think it's a money well spent. in my opinion.
So do I have a motion on the use of the community center maintenance and repair reserve for life floor insulation, sandblasting and painting the pool, gutter replacement and sandblasting and painting the slide?
So
I'll second that. Do you want a dollar amount in the motion?
We just listed it, the four-person board just listed it as up to 190,000. That would be great if you'd like to do that.
You want to amend that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to spend up to 190K for all the things listed for the pool.
I'll second the amendment.
Any further comments or discussion?
Thank you for all your hard work.
Any other
Yeah.
concerns on the pool once we do all this stuff?
No,
You're in the pool. Let's do it.
How
Yeah.
about the hot tub? That's okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I just make the comment again, just I don't think we can emphasize enough that, you know, is it Falcon is the one that sells the life Florence? They're giving us a $70,000 discount on this.
Yeah,
From
between like Florence and Falcon, yes.
from 98 down to 29,000. So.
Yeah.
I think it's a great way for you guys. Thank Falcon very much.
Yeah, to do like a grand reopening and do a public thank you would probably.
Pool openings in a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for reelection.
Okay, any other comments or discussion? Not hearing any, all in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried.
Thanks, Lori.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing, announcements? Do you have any?
Yep. One announcement I'd like the commission and the public to be aware of is that we are planning on filling the outdoor pool at the Mount Madison Aquatic Center and testing out everything. The boiler has been replaced. We still do not have all the electrical components in place. We've not received them all. But we feel very strongly that we need to get this facility tested before a possible freeze comes, and it's looking like we're not gonna be getting those electrical components in time for that. So next week, or excuse me, this week, we're gonna be filling the pool and testing it out, so people see that going on. That's what's happening. Anything else to add, Brad? Sums it up.
We just gotta hardwire it, Brad.
Well, the
Bypass.
pieces we're missing are from the 277 480 panel, the high voltage panel. And generally what it runs is things like the lighting circuits for the outdoor lights, and then it goes over and to the sub transformer and goes out to the distribution system through the other both the panels. There's two more panels that go through the other rest of the building. And the motors and stuff, this, it goes, from here, that 480 volt panel goes to the motor control center. So there's things downstream of that panel for the most part, before anybody gets to it, that is in control of the shock hazard, if you will, or whatever, the life safety protection. So we feel relatively comfortable. We're gonna double check everything. We're gonna run around, check for ground, make sure there's no ground potential rise in any of the apparatus while we have it operating, and go through our checks and make sure that everything's functioning right. But the plan is to run it for a few days. We don't want to go too far because we don't want the water to get out of balance and foul the filters or do anything to the pool lining. So we'll run it just long enough to where we know that everything's working and we're happy with it. Then we'll prep it for winter and get everything done, prep for winter, and then put cover on it and be ready for next spring. The components for the 480 volt panel should be coming in here sometime, but we've been told that, it's gonna be here in 3 weeks for the last 9 weeks, so, or 12 weeks, whatever it's been. Every time we ask them, it's gonna be another 3 weeks. So we're not sure when we're gonna get them, but we'll get them.
As long as it's before May.
Yes. So that's the plan.
The second announcement I'd make is, the mayor just reminded me, it's a good point, is we had the first drawing for the Madison area COVID-19 vaccine lottery. Did I get the name right, I think? We're the first drawing for it today. It was very simple, straightforward, staff was able to implement it, and that we contacted the winner. I don't have the name offhand, but I know that that person is very excited, has already stopped in and verified their residency in the county as well as their vaccine status, so that they were able to pick up their $1,000 in Mad Money gift cards. And we look forward to doing that every day for the next 5 weeks.
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, yeah. Every work day for the next 5 weeks.
All right.
And the last announcement, I'm on a roll tonight. Dana's been attending our meetings for the last month. He's had enough of us, so he's quitting. He's been filling in the paper for a short term, but he's going to be heading out. So we just want to thank him. Sincere, thank you for attending these meetings and as part of the media for the last month. Thank you. Thank you. That's it, I promise.
Any other announcements?
We did get our audit back from the auditors, no, this is for me, of course, but no significant findings.
Do I have a motion to go into exec at 6 o'clock?
So move.
Second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you for coming.
So I said in the motion.